I have to ask whether this is 4D chess from Amazon to begin in the gutter with alienating fans, drawing ire from all to bring the expectations low, to proceed to knock it out of the park and potentially make this a great success. This seems like a true Tolkienian eucatastrophe. Here we go. This is the latest trailer that just came out, and let's have a balanced take on this. So we begin. And holy moly, what is that music? Well, it's many meetings from when we arrived in Rivendell, except it has great poignance to have at the beginning of this new adaptation, as we return to see new faces and known faces and locations in different states of repair. Is that not amazing? Yes or yes? I like that Elrond says Galadriel in the Elvish way rather than, in the English way of like Galadriel. This is something that people may or may not have missed in their commentary. And I think it was also slightly amiss, even in Jackson's trilogy. Remember how Christopher Lee would notably say even like Rohan or Gandalf?
What is the House of Rohan?
Whether or not that's just his deep voice, it is more accurate. Now, this could also just be to distinguish between the learned and, like, say, the oblivious hobbits. But it does demonstrate accuracy, and Arameo smashes a stereotype for English people beyond the River Mersey of rolling their R's. But yeah, accuracy was one of those leading grievances and means I can proceed to now be condescending for the rest of the video. Once again with Galadriel, there is the illusion that she had some differing experiences to Elrond in the First Age. Both were alive for the War of Wrath, although Elrond would have been extremely young in comparison, but he was there for about 55 years. Galadriel experiences the horror of each of the three kinslayings by the sons of Fëanor at Alcolonde, Doriath, and the Havens of Sirion. These bodies here, they look like they'd be floating in water, such as at Alcolonde. Now, there's a fellow there with a spear through him, so this is a site of battle. That said, I thought it could have been a vision of the downfall of Numenor even, due to the redness and the tower in the back. It evokes that image of the eye atop Barad-dûr that many of us know. And of course, Sauron had his temple for Morgoth built on Numenor, where human sacrifice was performed. Visually speaking, the mountains and the plains look continuous with how New Zealand looks the same 20 years later, who'd have thought? But I love those trademark shots where we fly over the peaks akin to the lighting of the beacons, or those shots over the misty mountains. I feel like it really adds to the height of the peaks and the depth of the valley, and it's immersive. It feels like Middle-earth to me. Now, I'd be really interested to hear people's thoughts on how these Numenorean, Elven and Dwarven settlements look like. Personally, I like that they didn't try to reimagine Elven architecture, and the port town looks like a good place to, take your significant other for a nice weekend away. The Great Numenorean Harbour invokes that sense of grandeur that we had a small taste of with the Gates of Argonath. It isn't moss, but the bushes that are growing make it look like these have stood for a long time. They are part of the landscape and titanic symbols of magnificence. This is important because it shows that these aren't just any men, and they can construct things that none else can. Onto the dwarves, this is probably Khazad-dûm, since we see Prince Durin here, and Elrond going in to invite him to his tea party. I am a little unsure of the lighting in here and the foliage, right? From a realist perspective, what light is there to photosynthesize there? And what love of the green things do dwarves even have, right? This seems like it'd be more like a gorge rather than within a mountain. That said, it is one of those things that doesn't really bother me. I'd rather question whether this even is Khazad-dûm or somewhere like the Blue Mountains, where the geography of the ruined cities of Nogrod and Belegost is less known of. Now, as much as I think that they get these big landscape shots right, some of these close-up shots in these caves, they look a little fake. It looks like a constructed set, rather than just going to the bottom of a ravine in New Zealand at night, for instance, right? It's like when you can tell an actor is acting, it becomes a little stale. Now, the hobbits, they think they are safe. so they are probably not, and maybe they'll get wiped out. I left this point for later, but we have got some long-haired elves here with dark hair. They were very economical with the number of frames here, but they could have huge significance. They clearly have a golden star on their chest, but it seems slightly differently placed than those of Galadriel and Finrod on their armor. There are 4 of them visible here, and they could be Maglor, Celegorm, Curufin, and Caranthir. Now, their 3 other brothers, they have red hair, but together, these are the sons of Fëanor. They should have had a boy band. This could be the Oath of Fëanor being shown here. What a moment this is. An argument could be made that the Oath is the derivation of all stories in Middle-earth that we know of, and it can't be understated just how important an event it is. And to be actually be able to see it here would be amazing, and yet confusing, because I have no idea how they can circumvent the rights like this. This could be one of those case-by-case interventions where an integral scene needs to be used from the Silmarillion. But I've hoped that this is what we shall see. And, we have the Finrod flashback, so that could be it. Right, and we have this image of Arondir, the Sylvan elf, here fighting what looks like a wolf. It could be a warg, and it could be a werewolf even. We have the search of Sauron ongoing, with Galadriel, of course, and perhaps these are unlinked in the narrative, perhaps they're not, but Sauron was once known as the Lord of Werewolves in Minas Tirith in the First Age. Different one. It was on the Toll in Garhoth, literally known as the Isle of Werewolves. Now, there is some distinction that not all wolves are wargs and not all wargs are werewolves and the like, but I can save that for a different video, perhaps. Now, I am taking great liberties on extrapolating anything from that, but we can keep an eye on this at least. Mass ranks of horsemen in high-octane action, stunning vistas showing the battle of light and dark, and looming quotations like "The past is with us all," answered by "The past is dead," provide me with real hope. It's crazy how hopeful I am, because to me, there seems to be more in the "oof, yes please" column, rather than the A column. And to be honest, I'm intrigued to watch this show, even if it wasn't Lord of the Rings based. And yet, all of this action is bookended by the melancholic song lyrics, "Away I must wander this wandering day, a song of loss for the hobbits, or indeed for everyone else in this, the long defeat." Cheers for watching. Another chat sooner than the last, inbound soon, and have a good day.